let's start. Where's the middle here? Oh my goodness. Okay. So here we are at part 2 of the sketchbook tour. This back here is part 1, which you can find the link in the description. This is part 2, which I have just finished up. And today is actually October 1st when I'm filming this. So I finally can be free of this sketchbook and start on my Inktober without worrying about filling this up. So all in all, I started this sketchbook in March and finished it at the end of September. So let's get started. So this is a blank page just because I like this page nice and clean. This page here is a little bit of airport sketching. They turned out fairly bad because I was trying to not let people know that I was watching them, and they kept moving anyway, so. Here is just a spread, like a mermaid theme. This one is actually upside down. This is what it's supposed to look like, just picking up a shell off the bottom of the ocean. But I kind of wanted to do it upside down because in the water, up and down don't make that much of a difference if you don't have to come up for air, so I kind of wanted to mix up the orientation on that. So this is kind of a centaur. I'm not sure why centaurs would have 6 limbs. So this one has just the 4 limbs that most animals have. So this is basically my take on a key witch. Not that she is a witch of keys, but that she is the size of a key and she can go through doors and everything. So. Oh, and this is in just colored pencil, and this is colored pencil and Prismacolor marker. This is just a drawing, Prismacolors and ink, and this I did while on vacation. I don't really know what this is. This is some sort of an owl, wolf. Who knows? Who knows? Again, I don't know what this is, but this is alcohol markers and ink. Drawn in Prismacolor markers to begin with. This is obviously Benedict Cumberbatch on the Jimmy Fallon sketch thing. You probably have seen it either on TV or on YouTube. But I wanted to practice losing detail in shadows, so this is what I worked on. This is gross. I spilled ink everywhere and tried to still make it work by painting white over the areas that I wanted white. Not only that, but brown metallic is pretty nasty in itself, so I probably won't be using that anymore. This is a sketch. And I painted some, what do you call it? Mod Podge over her hair to kind of make it glossy. Just for fun. Just face practice. A little girl with a lollipop. More figure practice. This is in Conti Crayon. This... Oh, I remember. So this, I was just practicing curly hair, and I just started up in the corner by just kind of starting a grid of, hair curls. And then I wanted to turn it into something, so I made this. Other than that, I don't know what this is. This, I was practicing Loish style drawing. And I was also coloring on Procreate, so I made it, a black and white theme. This I also colored in Procreate. So this is just an ink drawing of a ranch girl. This is a creature design mixing 3 different animals randomly. It turned out kind of strange because it is a mix of a okapi, a rhino, and an ocelot. So those are pretty strange animals to mix together, but those are the ones I picked. So that's what it is. These are some poodle studies. This is practicing with my watercolors and just picking out some color schemes that I wanted to work with a little bit. This is, I don't know, just drawing. This, I was actually going to paint the background all black, but when I dropped out the ink to do it, I liked it, so I left it. Of course, this paper, you know, the bleeding is horrible. It goes everywhere, so it looked cooler before it dried, but I think I like it still. Here's something else I did for Procreate. Just some white ink and black ink. And a dragon scared of his reflection. Just pencil. This, I really wanted to do a mirror image on both pages, so I just started drawing, and this is what happened. Obviously, these aren't perfect mirror images, and they're not supposed to be. That's kind of like reality and what we think of reality, and the slight differences between the two, and sometimes you can't tell the difference immediately. This was testing out my different colored pencils on my Duralar acetate paper. So this is the matte color, and this is just playing with blending with alcohol and eraser and layering, and it was really fun. You kind of, well, I guess you can't see it in the back. This is just a boy. That's it. With made in ballpoint pen and a little bit of paint and some Prismacolor. These are some pose studies in a really chunky Conti crayon. This I really don't like. It's not my style at all. What I was working on was trying to incorporate some elements of a background, which you can see usually I don't do. I just leave it blank. And I do like it better blank, but I think I need to work on background type images a little bit better. These are my Ahuhu marker swatches. This was really, really ugly. It was an experiment that turned out really gross, and I was going to draw over it, but I guess I forgot to go back to that. Here's some more Conti crayon, this time male figure studies. These are Prismacolor studies working on two characters interacting, which I also don't do very much in my drawings. This is just for fun, Prismacolor and ink. This was playing with different weird colors for hamsters. That's it. But they turned out really cute, I think. My daughter challenged me to the 3 marker challenge from YouTube, so we did that, and this is what I got. And these are the Ahuhu marker numbers that I picked, gray, brown, and pink. This was just looking at the structure of a gorilla's face. Hey look, it's Ron and Scabbers. Yeah, nothing more to that. This, again, was trying to incorporate some background elements to what I like to draw, which is portraits. This is in pencil, I believe. Just really smudgy pencil. Oh. There's Hermione. I don't even remember her cat's name. That's gonna bother me. Anyway, that's Hermione. This was pose practice, and I was looking at Chris Sanders' art, which is why, if you see the fingers and the toes and whatnot are really strange. And he has a drawing, or a piece that is kind of in this pose. So this was my using that as an influence. There's Harry and Hedwig. I got really messy with this one. I don't remember if it was bleeding that much or if I just couldn't stay in the lines. Yeah. Oh, so this is Jim Halpert as a female superhero with a stapler in Jell-O. Yeah. It was really funny. My daughter turned to this page when I was out with a friend, and she just left it on this page, and it was so awkward. Like, I didn't want to say anything or explain what it was, because it's just so weird. My friend didn't say anything either. But I was just so self-conscious that this is the page that my daughter turned to. Oh well. That was just for fun. I don't even know why I did it. some horse practice with blending pencil. This is, I think, yeah, more Chris Sanders studying how he weights everything to the bottom. This was a direct study of one of his, and then these are just kind of implementing that style in different ways. That's a fig in marker. I really like botanical illustration. I'm terrible at it, but I think it's really pretty when it's done well. This, who knows what this is? But it's cool. I had fun. This is more Duralar acetate, but I was playing with using the front and the back. As you can see the bird through it, and then I painted the light and the light and the dark background, and did some drawings on the front and blurred it a little bit with the alcohol. This was playing with the theme of the Queen of Hearts, and I incorporated a little bit of the general card style motifs there. This is a point of view that is really difficult for me to draw, so I try to draw it quite often, but it always comes out terrible, but oh well. This I was trying to blend watercolor with markers, and it was horrible. It didn't do anything that I expected, so I just made this. These are the artist quirks meme that was going around. And glitter. You can take a look at that if you want. Pause it. It's not that interesting. For this one, I was trying to do like an alien world, again incorporating more background into it, but I got lazy and I never really finished the main character. Or the alien deer, which was going to be different than a regular deer. This is pose practice with pens that are not waterproof, so I played with that. This was more pose practice, but I made a kind of a witchy, woodsy character. And this green is another pen that's water soluble, but it turned out really bright. It's a fluorescent pen though, so I'm not sure why I didn't expect that. Oh no, that's supposed to be right here. Covering up the bright green. These are some more studies. This one was done in pencil with some marker over the top. This is just purple pen, and this is just pencil. This is pencil, ink, and a little bit of brown watercolor. These are some desert hair studies. Here is kind of a curvy plus-size lady in a bathing suit. This is just portrait. Here's where that hair study went. I was playing a little bit with markers and green pen. These are some Highlander cow studies. And that's what happened to that. I really don't know why I drew a Minotaur Highlander cow, especially with bats behind it. I don't know. This one, I remember I was trying to do a super awkward pose with no reference and just see what happened. And you know, it's not bad. I kind of like it. Here is another study. This one is a muscle study drawn straight in pen, which was the challenging part, was not laying it out in pencil and trying to make all the things work together with correct proportions. This was a theme that I started. You'll see a few more of these, but they're kind of botanical people, like morphing the human body with some sort of botanical element. So this is a thistle and a lady. This was a study of a pose. This is another pose that I draw quite often, but I always get it horribly wrong, so I wanted to, do a longer study and some pen and some marker. This is a really long man. Here are some male pose thumbnails. I just want to do more poses. I really like poses, but I'm so bad at incorporating them, so... And I often just draw portraits. So this is a portrait of an elf girl. That's it. Here's another pose study in pen. And this was a pose I was trying to get right, where they kind of have one leg straight, weight all on one leg. And I always mess it up because it never looks right. Here is a... This wasn't really a pose study because it wasn't from reference. I don't know. Just like this, I guess. It's just pen. And a little bit of layout and pencil. Here is a botanical person again. This is a tomato blossom and a man. Just pen. This, I don't remember where I was going with this. And I don't think I set out to draw a portrait on lily pads to make a child of the pond, I guess, but that's what happened. There's another portrait in red pen. Here is just a drawing in blue pencil. Just another drawing, no reason. This, believe it or not, has no rhyme or reason behind it. I just started drawing and this is what came out. And I'm not sure what's going on down here, because obviously he's a land thing, but he doesn't have legs. I'm looking at it, I think maybe he's like a pangolin man or something. I don't know. Ew. Eraser. This was, October was coming up and I wanted to do some practice just laying in shapes with ink without anything else. So this is just blocked in black ink and then with a little bit of watercolor and paint in the background. This was Portrait from Imagination straight in pen, and then I overlaid some pencil shading on it. This was another experiment in blocking ink in with a brush pen. Here's some squirrel studies in pen. More squirrel studies in pen, including a squirrel skull. This was more of the blocking in ink, and then I went back and I added some details in purple pen. I don't know what this is. This was one of the times that I just started drawing, and that happened. And here is some torso studies of males in pen. This was again the botanical person idea with a quote that I had seen, "Nothing blooms all year." It was a longer quote than that, and I'm not sure where it came from. I've seen it quite a few different places. But this was just acrylic paint with some ballpoint pen over the top. This was a pose I struggle with. The right angle elbows in this kind of square shoulder pose is really difficult for me, so I often try to draw it just to make it look better. Eventually I'll get it right. This is one that I really like, and I think it has to do with the purple and yellow, but I used this section right here from reference because I like the way that the wrinkles of the shirt were. And then I kind of made it, I guess, into a Halloween costume. I'm not sure what this is, but I like it. This is just a pink pen portrait. Here is black pen over some ink. And this one was kind of a challenge I set out for myself to do ballpoint pen quickly of a photo reference. And then I picked little areas that I didn't really like how it turned out in the drawing and made them better. So this is actually what the foot looks like, not that. This looks like a flat foot and not a pointed. And that's really what her face looks like, and her proportions are more like this right here. This is a drawing of the wharf that I live near. It's something that I wanted to draw for a long time, but I hadn't got around to it. This is some ballpoint pen over paint. And this here was supposed to be some sort of a creative, fun thing, and it was not supposed to be 2 pages. I accidentally cut through both pages, and a little bit of this page. So it was just supposed to be a portrait with kind of a background behind it. But since I cut out 2, I made a couple more portraits with the same outline, which was a fun challenge. This is pink ballpoint pen with a yellow acrylic background. This was more seeing what I could do on the acrylic paint using Prismacolors and some ink. And this is just a pen sketch of a lizard, which I hope was pretty obvious. This was not from reference, just ballpoint pen over paint. And I like the way that the tones turned out on this. I really like this one. This was me trying to figure out how to work a horse's proportions with a person's proportions at the same time, straight in ballpoint pen with no layout first, which is why the horse goes through the person. This is just some fun with ballpoint pen on white paint. This was another exercise in blocking out with ink without any lines first. And I really like this one too. I like how the shadows worked on the face, and then how it also is very Inktober-y, Halloween-y, kind of spooky at the same time. This was not meant to be quite this ugly. It was supposed to be awkward, and she was supposed to have a long neck and just be kind of creepy, but I think it turned out a lot more creepy and ugly than I wanted to. But that's what happens when you work in pen. You can't fix anything. This, I got a new yellow Pentel art brush for Inktober. So I wanted to test it out, and obviously this paper is not the place for it. It bleeds horribly. It bled through this whole page, actually. See, even though I painted over the back, you can still see the drawing on the other side. This is just pen practice on paint again. And this is the green Pentel art brush. Again, you can see the whole drawing through the back. This is just pink ballpoint pen. I really wanted to do a throne picture with this pose, and it took me a really long time to find a pose that would work with that for reference. And then I didn't use the reference as much as I should have. So this is mixing the two art brushes, the yellow and the green, to see what kind of effect that would give, and it was really fuzzy and I did not like it on this paper. Here's sepia toned figure, a little bit of white around the face. This was trying to get myself in the mood for Inktober. I know I draw a lot in pen anyway, but I wanted to kind of get in the theme idea of Inktober. Here is a blank page that should not be blank. Guess I missed one. This was just for fun in pink ballpoint pen. I really strive to try to make things work with pen straight off, because you can't erase, and using the pen makes you think about the lines you're putting down because you can't get rid of them, but it also makes you learn from the lines that you do put down. So if they're wrong, it really cements it in your head that that's not the way it's supposed to be. It's not something you just erase and it's gone. It's there, but it's there for you to learn from. So I really like doing pen a lot. I don't have much to say about this. I guess just a poppy and a girl, a high school football fan girl. Inktober is coming! I really dislike this design, but I kept it for authenticity's sake. And this is practicing pencil hand studies, but without reference. So this is all from imagination, trying to see how much I've actually learned. I didn't even look at my own hands. This is the last page. And this is like a chieftain's wife, Native American type girl, all straight in pen. And actually, I'm glad this is the first page, or the last page, because this is probably one of my favorite pieces. I love the way that the pen works on this ink and the pose and everything. So that is it, guys. This is my whole sketchbook that we've been waiting a long time for. That's really out of hand. 240 pages since March. now I am on to Inktober. Thanks for watching. Bye.